Well, good morning, Homestead family. We've had a couple of folks asking us to do a little tour of our John boat and how we have it set up for crappie fishing. And I was thinking, you know, we did a tour of the video several years ago when we first moved here, but a lot of things have changed on the boat since then. So I was thinking, yeah, you're probably right. Probably time to do another, I'd do another update on how we got it set up. So today's video is just how we set up our John boat to do spider rigging for crappie fishing. We also do cast fishing for crappie and float fishing on, slip bobbers, things like that. But our favorite style of fishing for crappie is by far spider rigging. So today, let's just pull the boat out of the boat shed, get it out in the sun where you can see it clearly, and let's just walk around the boat real quick and see how she looks. Let's step outside. Well, here we go. Let's just start on the outside of the boat itself. The boat is it's a John boat. It's 18 feet long, and I got the 60, so it's an 1860. This boat is built by a company called Well Built. I believe they're out of Louisiana or Arkansas, one of the two. I can't really remember, but if you're interested in a well-built boat, you'll have to get it from a distributor anyway. So check that out if you're interested. But anyway, this is an 18-footer. We start off up here on the front. Whenever we're crappie fishing or speckled perch fishing, we like to push our bait with the spider rigs. So I put the baits out, and then I use this Minn Kota trolling motor to pull the boat along, and I control everywhere I want to go, moving at about anywhere from a 0.5 mile an hour to maybe 1 mile an hour, and that's how I troll. And I can control the boat just by using the foot pedal over there with the trolling motor. So we don't even use the back motor, the big motor, when we're trolling for crappie. But that's how that works. And right here, right underneath the trolling motor on this foundation that I've got right here, I built just a little day box under here that can slide in and out, and I just keep little things in there that I need to get to that day that I really don't want to clutter up a tackle box with it, and I don't want to have to drag out a tackle box whenever I want to use it. So it's something real fast and easy at my fingertips that I can get to quick. So that's my little deck box. And I got the big seats here on the front. I got me a big cushion, heavy duty seat that it kind of helps my back, because after sitting for a couple hours out there in the boat, my back and my knee get to bother me pretty bad. But since I upgraded to this better seat, that has really been greatly reduced. And I got a new chair for the back for Nancy too, which has helped her back, because us old people need all the help we can get. But anyway, that's how we sit in the boat to fish and how we maneuver the boat. And let's move right along down. Let me show you this net right here while I got you. This is really just a crab net. It's aluminum and it's extendable, so I can extend it out. It's 12 feet long, and it's very, very light because it's aluminum, of course, so I can do it one-handed for a long distance. And it came with a real shallow net for crabbing, and I took that net off, and I got this much longer net, because crappie tend to, if you get them in the net, they sometimes get to flipping around pretty good, and we have lost some pretty big ones by they flip themselves out and that rip the hook out of the lip. So that's pretty disappointing. After that happens a couple of times, you find yourself upgrading to a deep net with the long extended handle. So whenever we're spider rigging, I pull the fish up close to the boat within reach of this, and then Miss Nancy, she scoops it up and saves the day. So that's how we use that. Let's move along and take a look at how we transport our rods. Well, this is our how we transport our rods, you know, from the homestead over to the boat ramp. One of the things about crappie fishing with the spider rigging is we use some really long rods. When I'm sitting on the bow, I use a 16-foot crappie rod, so that it's extended out 16 feet away from the boat. That way those fish don't feel the vibrations and noise I'm making with that trolling motor. So I got it out at least 16 feet away. In the back, Nancy uses 14-foot rods because it's much further away from that trolling motor, which it's not really going to scatter the fish. So back in the back, she's got 14s. Up in the bow, I got 16s. And the problem with that is that they're hard to transport. And a lot of times you'll see people, they bungee cord them together and they lay them down in the boat and they travel over. And which has happened to me is we got to where we were going to fish, only to discover one of them was broke off, you know, because they're so brittle. So we got these rods by Millennium, these rod racks, and I can store 8 rods in here, and they can travel, you know, down the road all the way to the ramp. I've had it up, you know, 70 miles an hour for long periods of time, and I've never had one single problem with these racks coming loose or anything slipping out of them. So this is a great way to transport our rods without, you know, having undue damage to them when we get there. And we really like them. Well, let's check out the back of the boat and see what powers Luella. What we've got on our boat is a 30 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke. It's just a tiller motor, so I drive it by turning this tiller here. I don't have a steering wheel or a console on my boat. And it's only a 30 horse, and it does get Luella up on plane, but it really is kind of slow. We only get about 22 miles an hour full throttle with this little 30 horse. If I had it to do over, I would have certainly went up to the 40. Actually, the 40's about the same size, so I could have had 10 more horsepower. I was just trying to save money when I was getting set up. I really regret not getting the 40, but you know, maybe one day we'll be able to upgrade to the 40, you know, when this one gets some more hours on it. So that's something to think about for the future. Well, here's Miss Nancy's chair that she uses when she's fishing in the back, and that's her rod set up. And whenever we're navigating the boat, I use a Garmin GPS right here. You can take a close-up look at it. It's nothing fancy about it. It's just a small unit that we have our waypoints in there, and I can I find a good spot that we like to fish and we want to go back to it another day. I just call up my waypoint and I set the course for that waypoint, and we take off and go to it. Now, what I like about having that is a lot of times we take off pre-dawn. So if you've seen some of our videos, you notice that we're going out in the black dark, because I want to get to the fishing spot just as it's starting to get daylight, because crappie really like the low light. So we try to get there as early as we can. And by having this GPS on there, I can stay on course with the minimum of visibility. And of course, you have to go real slow and careful and we only do it in places I've done it hundreds of times, so I'm real familiar with where I'm going with it. And that just allows us to get just a little bit of a head start and put a little bit of the odds in our favor with those crappie. That's our navigation tool. Having the 18-foot John boat really gives me and Nancy plenty of room on the inside to walk around and not have to step over things, and it keeps it safe for us as we're maneuvering back and forth in the boat, especially when Nancy runs to the boat to get the net to get a fish, or I run from the front of the boat back to net one of her fish. So whoever's got a fish on, the other person does the netting. But having the center line passageway in the boat clear is what prevents us from having an accident. And we use this marine foam. We put that down this year. It's just glued down to the deck, and it's very soft and it doesn't get hot. And it's very comfortable for us, and it cuts down a lot of the noise. So if we accidentally drop a weight or anything in the bottom of the boat, it doesn't make that big clanking sound that, you know, scatters fish. So we really like the inside of it with the foam, and having a centerline passageway clear for us to do that kind of fishing with it. Now, if you get up on port and starboard side of the boat here, about the midship, middle of the ship, middle of the boat, there's 2 storage lockers, one on the port side, one on the starboard side. The first one on the starboard side, Nancy keeps all kinds of things in there that we need, like sun hats when the sun's overwhelming. We have special hats for that. All kinds of things in there. She puts her backpack with all her stuff that she wants for the day, all of her food and things like that, snacks, and for both of us. So that's a good storage locker for that. On the port side, we have another storage locker, dry stores, that I use for our jugs. I keep jugs on the boat with long lines with a weight on the end. And there's times when I find out a good spot out when I'm crappie fishing and I'm marking a lot of real good fish. I'll throw a jug out there and I'll keep moving. I find another spot and then another spot, and I make a triangle with 3 jugs. Then I can take the trolling motor and I control us in and out, and weave in and out all around those fish that I'm seeing on the down imaging up there on the bow. I can see where the fish are around those jugs, and it just keeps me oriented, and it's just the way I learned to do it a long time ago. And it's, most people probably say you don't need to do it with all your electronics nowadays, but I'm just kind of old school with an old soul, and I just do things. I'm doing good to get the electronics, much less trying to change too much at once. So anyway, that's the whole idea of having them jugs in there, because it helps us when I'm trying to target the fish. Had a couple of subscribers ask me, what are these white suitcases we carry around on the boat with us? And actually, this is a bait cooler. It's a very good cooler made by Engel, and you can open up this thing and you can pull the basket out and get the minnows that you're looking for. It's got an aerator pump on the side of it. It keeps the minnows aerated and the oxygenated water, and it keeps the water very cool. So it's a good bait cooler for us. I've used this for about four years now, and I've never had any minnows die on me all day fishing with this cooler. So got one on the front for me, and I got one on the back for Nancy, so we don't have to walk back and forth just to get a minnow. So that these things have proven to be very reliable for us, and we really like them. Well, you heard me mentioning our down image electronics up on the front. This is my unit. It's a Helix 10 Humminbird. It has the down imaging. I don't use the live scope. I just didn't have the money for that, and I think it might just be a little bit too fancy for what I like to do. So I kept with just a straight down image with the 2D sonar. And whenever I'm using this unit here, it's attached to the transducers attached to my trolling motor, and being that our boat is 18 feet long, when I have this down in the front, it shows an image from right to left on my screen here, and I can see the screen. I see structure, I see schools of fish come in, and I can give Nancy a heads up, because by the time I see the image up here, that image is actually about 18 feet back there where Nancy's actually sitting. So I say, get ready, I'm marking some good stuff, and I hardly can even get it out of my mouth before the lines start shooting down. So this thing really helps us dial in on what's underneath the boat without having to constantly stare at it. I kind of like looking at, you know, my rods and watching my rod tips, and just basically keeps me kind of on track, you know. So I use this in conjunction with checking with how the tips of the rods are looking. So this is how we do it, and that's what we got on the front. Well, I hope you enjoyed a little tour of our John boat set up for crappie fishing, and I just leave this thing attached to my truck all the time, and we leave it hooked up, and I just back it right into this little boat shed to keep it out of the rain and out of the sun, and I leave the truck hooked up to it, which was a major life goal of mine while I was working. I said, one of the biggest things I look forward to when we retire is I'll be able to hook up my boat and just leave it hooked up to the truck all the time and never have to take it on and off. And God has provided that little dream for me to come true. So he gave me the desire of my heart on that one, and I really like that. So we pretty much leave it hooked up at all times, so whenever we get ready to go fishing, I just load the stuff in for whatever type of fishing we're targeting, and we drive out and go, and we come back and put it right back in. And over here in the area, we've also got a fish cleaning station with some shade cloth, and you know, you've seen our videos on all of that before. But this whole area right here is set up just for our fishing fun, and we really enjoy that as part of our homestead life. So until me and Nancy see you next time out on the water, we hope our video today just brought a little smile to your face and a little peace into your heart. So we'll see you out on the water on the next fishing video in old Luella. Till then, always remember, by his hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.